Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make these 5 simple, great looking starter houses. Each one of these simple starter houses will take less than 5 minutes to make, or some of them will take about 5 minutes, some take a little bit less time, some take ever so slightly more time, but roundabout, each one of them will take about 5 minutes. We have some normal houses mixed in with some more biome specific houses. I hope that you guys can take at the very least one of these houses away and use them in your survival worlds. I hope that you guys at the very least like one of these designs. This is a tutorial. I will be showing you how to make each one of these houses that we see down below, all 5 of them. I will be showing you how to make a block for block version of all of these houses. However, I'm going to show you all 5 of these houses right at the start of the video, and as I show you each individual house, a timestamp will appear on the screen, and you'll be able to go down below in the description, and that timestamp will tell you when the tutorial for each individual house begins. So I'll give you a for instance. Let's take a look at the very first house that we have here. On the screen now should be a timestamp, and that tells you at what point in the video I will show you how to make this house. You can find the same thing down below. So this is starter house number 1. This is kind of like a hill house slash cave house. This can be built pretty much anywhere that you have a small mound of dirt or a cave or a hill. Very, very simple design, looks great, uses very few materials, and it works very nicely as a house because not only can you have like a 3x3 area inside with all of the things that you'd need, so we have a bed and we have furnaces and stuff, but you could very easily extend this house as far back as you like. As you can see, we have an artificial hill, but a real house wouldn't do this, and you could expand this house to like as big as you like as you progress through your survival world. So this is house number 1. You'll be able to find this house once again. If you want to make this one, this will be the first tutorial that I show you guys. You can find that on the screen in the timestamp, and you can also find it down below in the description. So the second house that I'll show you how to make, this is again, it's kind of like a hill house, but you can build this house absolutely anywhere. You can build it on flat terrain, you can build it on hilly terrain. It really doesn't matter where you build it. You can kind of meld the meld the terrain to this house. I kind of have it perched on a hill here, and we have a nice big ladder that takes us up to our little hill, and you can see that we have a nice little chimney on this house. Very easy, very great looking wooden design, very, very simple, nice little flower on the outside. If we take a look inside, we have just enough room for a little bit of furnace action. We have a little painting, we have a bed, we could build some chests into the floor if we wanted to, or even put them in the ceiling. This is just a nice little starter home that isn't really expandable, so this is like probably one of the first houses that you would ever make, but it just makes a nice little base wherever you want to build this. It doesn't require very many resources. If we move on to house number 3 that we have here, this is a cave design. So this can be built anywhere that you have a cave. Obviously, it's kind of in the name. So all you have to do is knock into like a hillside or a big giant mound of dirt, or wherever you want. You'd have to knock into it. You have to carve out a little bit of an area, and inside of your cave you can put whatever you like. But this is a pretty nice setup that we have right here. We have a crafting table, we have a chest, we have a furnace. It looks great, it's quite functional. We have a bed built into the floor. We have a chest here built inside of these bookcases. Obviously the chest isn't functional because it is surrounding bookcases, but this is more of an aesthetic chest than anything else. You could easily put something that you could actually use instead. And of course the beauty of the cave is that you can kind of keep digging and digging and digging in the cave, and you can expand it and make it as big as you like. Very much like the hill house, and it just looks great, and it's so easy to make, guys. It's unbelievable. Now, the 4th house that I'll show you how to make, this is kind of like a modern wooden house. So if you kind of want that modern look without using the quartz, and you kind of want a slightly bigger survival house, then look no further than this house that we have right here. This is a nice, really easy, quite spacious, really survival house. If we take a look at the inside, we have more room than I actually know what to do with. We have a nice bed here, but we could have built built that into the floor, we could have absolutely taken advantage of all of the space, and we could have added more chests and more stuff. I just didn't want to overcrowd this place. And if we come upstairs, you see that we have enough room to throw some chests on the roof or whatever. Plus, it's always nice to have like a roof that you can kind of like shoot zombies off of the top of and do all sorts of stuff with. So that is the fourth house that I'll show you how to make. Very nice, like a nice modern / wooden blend. If we move on to the fifth and final house, for whatever reason, I really do have a thing for igloos. This one is in the snowy biome. You'll probably want something like this. I do love this because it's so easy to make, and not only is it incredibly easy to make, and obviously if you're in the right biome, the materials are so easy to find, but the inside is so spacious. I think that this is the most spacious out of all of them. The bed is once again built into the floor. We have plenty of room for chests, furnaces, crafting tables. We even have a little enchantment library here, and it is so easy to furnish because it's so effortless. Effortless? That's not a word. It's so effortless to furnish this place, and you can kind of like make this as big or as small as you want. You could shape the inside a little bit more, but I kind of like it like this. It's such a nice, easy little snow base to make. It's just a great little build if you want to have something a little bit more biome related, and you wanted it to actually be nice and functional, and that is so easy to make, guys. You've got no idea. You'll see that when we actually come to it. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are the 5 simple starter houses. Hopefully you guys will have no problem making these. Hopefully you liked at the very least one of these designs. Why don't I actually show you how to make these? And of course I'm going to be starting with number 1, and I'll work my way all the way over to number 5 once we get there. So without any further ado, let's get to it. So if you want to make house number 1, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some spruce wood, some stone brick stairs, some oak wood stairs, some oak wood slabs, some stone brick slabs, some glass block, some oak fence, and some dark oak doors. Well, you only need one of those really, but you need lots of the other stuff. So once you have all of that, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, so I'm making mine just on this hillside that we have right here. You can literally make it anywhere that you have a little bit of a wall backing. So like here, you can make it here, you could make it just about anywhere that surrounds me. So I'm going to begin by placing a row of 5 spruce wood coming up from the ground. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to take this 5th block, I'm going to do 2 upper right diagonals, 1, 2. Then I'm going to do 2 bottom right diagonals, that's 1 and 2. Then I'm going to connect that block down to the ground to give us this shape. Then I'm going to take the second blocks in the long rows of spruce wood, and I'm going to place upside down stone brick stairs in front of these blocks. I then want to connect them together using oak wood slabs. I then want to do a layer of stone brick slabs in front of the oak wood. Then I want to extend the oak wood slabs backwards 1 row to connect the spruce wood together. Then I want to create a little bit of a walkway down from this little balcony area that we have. So I'm just going to use some oak wood slabs in such a way that we create a little bit of a step down area like this. And I'm going to put something next to the slab, so like stone brick slabs work, whatever you really want to do, you can do. I'd also suggest building up the terrain with something, so maybe like some stone bricks, maybe some oak wood, maybe even spruce wood, or maybe even just use some grass or whatever you like. I'm choosing to use some spruce wood to kind of give the illusion that this is like supported. And you can do the same thing on the opposite side, thinking about it. You could place like something here and maybe like here and here, kind of like just build it up a little bit if you like, or don't, it's up to you. I'm also going to place a spruce wood on top of the front 2 corners of the balcony that we've created, and I'll place oak fence in between the 2, and I'll also connect the right hand side to the house. I want to place a door right up front and center in between the bottom of the 2 rows of spruce, like this. I want to place a layer of glass on top of the door, stemming from left to right. I also want to place an additional glass right up front, top and center. I'm going to place some oak wood planks next to the door. I don't have planks, but oak wood slabs will do the exact same thing. Now, I'm going to do the roof. So, the very edge of the roof begins left and right of the rows of 5 spruce wood. I'm going to use a stone brick stair on the left and right. However, the center of the roof is oak wood stairs. So I'm going to build up coming towards the apex using oak wood stairs. The very top of the roof will be stone brick slabs. However, the part of the roof that overhangs the front of the build will be stone brick slabs and stone bricks, and stone brick stairs. So we want the front part of the roof to overhang the front of the build like this. We also want to place upside down stone brick stairs underneath each one of the overhanging stairs. And I'm going to connect the very first, the bottom row of upside down stone brick stairs together using a layer of oak wood slabs to kind of just add a little bit of detail to the front of the build. I'm going to take the roof of the build and I'm going to extend it and connect it to the mountain behind us. So obviously, with your mountain, you might have to go further back. You might not. You might have to just place a couple of blocks backwards. It turns out that in this case, I've actually got to connect the roof back quite a bit. So just connect it back as far as you have to go. Also, fill the side of the walls in with oak wood slabs / oak wood planks. So when you look at the side of the build, you want to have something which should look like that. And that is the main part of the house done, and it looks great on the side of your hill, doesn't it? Well, all you have to do to actually do the interior, you just crack open the door. You'll see that we have a little bit of space here, but you kind of just knock as far into the mountain as you want to go, like this. You just knock as far in the mountain as you want to go. You'd fill in any gaps that you didn't really like inside of the house, so if you have any holes in the wall, or if you have a material in the wall that you're not very happy with, you just fill that in, and you would place whatever you wanted to in your little starter house. You'd place a bed wherever you wanted to, you'd place a crafting table and a furnace and everything wherever you wanted to, and you'd place chests wherever you wanted to, and you'd have a nice little, easy to make, great looking starter house that you could absolutely, I might dig that into the wall actually, that you could absolutely recreate anywhere that you wanted, and it looks fantastic. It looks fantastic, it's easy to make. What else do I have to tell you? So that is the very first starter house. I'm sure that you guys managed to make that no problem. Why don't we move on to the second starter house? So, if you want to make the second house, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some spruce wood, some oak wood stairs, some oak wood slabs, some cobblestone stairs, some cobblestone slabs, some glass blocks, some dark oak wood doors, a flower pot, maybe some flowers. So we might also need a couple of things later on, a little bit, like if you want to build ladders coming up to this build and everything. It really does depend on where you actually want to build this thing, but this is basically the actual house portion of materials that you'll need. So once you have these, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'm going to be making mine right up here on this hill that we have. So on top of this giant hill, I'm going to begin by placing 3 spruce wood coming up from one of the blocks of the hill. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to place an upright diagonal with the spruce wood. I'm going to go right by one. Then I want to do a bottom right diagonal, and then I'm going to connect down like that. I'm going to take the bottom spruce wood, and I'm going to place a cobblestone slab connecting the 2 bottom spruce woods together from the upper half of the spruce wood. So I want a row of cobblestone slabs connecting the bottom spruce wood together, left to right. Then I'm going to take the behinds of those 2 spruce wood blocks, and I'm going to extend them backwards using the cobblestone slabs in the same position. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, coming backwards from the same blocks in the same position. Then I'm going to place a spruce wood block behind each one of those cobblestone. I'm going to then connect those 2 spruce woods together, once again using cobblestone, so you can see that we've got a nice square, well, rectangular shape with our cobblestone. I'm going to fill the inside of this in with oak wood slabs, and I'm going to extend each one of these oak wood these spruce wood blocks upwards, each by 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and then I'm going to connect them together diagonally in the middle, so we have the same thing that we have on the front, right? Now, the entrance of this build, it's right where we started, and is the 2 left-hand spaces inside of the frame that we've just made. Right of the lower half of the door, I want to place an upside-down oak wood stairs. I'm going to place a glass block on top of it. Coming down from the door, I'm going to place an oak wood stairs, and left of that, I'm going to place a spruce wood with a flower pot with a poppy in it. Then I'm going to come to the right-hand side of this build, and the right-hand side of this build is ever so slightly different because we're going to have a little chimney on this side. So, first of all, I'm just going to fill in just behind the right hand side of the frame. I'm going to do a row of oak wood planks, and then I'm going to leave these 2 spaces open, and next to these 2 empty spaces I'm going to place cobblestone blocks next to the 2 empty spaces, next to the cobblestone slabs. Then I'm going to extend these cobblestone blocks upwards by 2 rows with cobblestone. So I want to add 2 layers on top of this. Then I'm going to add an additional cobblestone block on top of the back cobblestone. Then I'll place a cobblestone stair in front of the cobblestone block that I've made. Then I'll extend the cobblestone block upwards with a cobblestone slab. And then, you know what, something that might actually be a nice touch is if we added a little bit of a web coming outwards from the cobblestone chimney like this. It might be a little bit of a nice touch. I didn't think about that until now. If we come to the opposite end of the build here, on the left-hand side of the build, we have a little window. But mainly, all we want to do is we want a layer of oak wood planks behind the frame on the front and the back, like this, on the left and the right. We want an upside-down oak wood stairs, or maybe even an upside-down cobblestone stairs with a glass block on top of it. And we also want to come to the very back here. In the very back of this build, it's just oak wood planks. You just want to fill in the very back of it. It's so easy. And then all we have to do is the roof. So the roof begins with a layer of cobblestone slabs, and it starts on the very left-hand side of the build, and it comes outwards. It comes from the upper half of the left-hand side and the right-hand side of the build, like this. And then we want to have a layer of oak wood stairs next, coming upwards, 1 row inwards, 1 row above. Then we want a layer of cobblestone stairs, so we want a row of oak wood stairs and then a layer of cobblestone stairs. Then we want the same thing for the opposite side, so we want the oak wood stairs and we want the cobblestone stairs like this, if I can place it. The web's getting in the way a little bit. Then we want the other half of the top of the roof to be cobblestone stairs, as you guys might have guessed. Then we're going to extend the roof forwards 1 block, and the edge of the roof is going to be made completely out of cobblestone blocks. So that means cobblestone stairs, and it also means cobblestone slabs that we want to have extended out the front and the back of the roof. So we're going to extend all that, and then if you like, you can place like underneath the 2 upper stairs, you can place just like 2 upside down oak wood stairs facing each other at the top of the roof, at the back, and at the front also. So there you go. There you'll have a nice little house built on a hill. And of course, I would highly recommend kind of like messing about with the terrain to fit the house. So if that means that you have to add a couple of blocks about the place, then that means you have to add a couple of blocks. Like if you have to add a couple of blocks just to make it so that this house makes sense. And do remember that if you're building it on a hill, of course, you want to have a way that you can actually get up to the house, don't you? So if you have to build like some ladders coming up to the like side of your house in any way that you kind of want to do it, then it's kind of up to you. Like you see that we've just built some ladders on the side of this little mountain. It's actually a little bit of a hidden house, really. I mean, it's quite hidden indeed. And of course, you can just, like I said, just meld the environment to however you have to do it. So now we can actually go up to the house. We can hop our way up and through a series of like climbing and ladders and ever so slightly a little bit of parkour. You could create a nice little house on a hill that's ever so slightly harder to get to and out of the reach of most things. But that is house number 2, ladies and gentlemen. The interior for that one really isn't that important as it wasn't for the first house. Why don't I show you how to make the third house? Okay, so house number 3, the cave house. If you want to make this one, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some oak wood stairs, some beds. We'll need stonebrick slabs, chests, crafting tables, furnaces, bookshelves, torches, grass blocks. We'll need some stone, wooden trapdoors, poppies, cobblestone slabs, and some oak leaves. Most of this is for making the interior of the cave. A lot of what I think makes this house quite cool is the fact that the interior is so easy and light. So once you've got all of this and once you've figured out where you want to make this thing, and you can make this thing just about anywhere. It doesn't take up too much space. As long as you're digging into a wall, then you're pretty much good. So I've just picked this here. I don't know whether this is going to work out well, but we're going to give it a go. So first of all, you want to dig dig into a hillside a little bit. So just dig into a hillside a little bit. We have to create a hallway for where the cave is actually going to exist. So this is kind of going to be the hallway that we'll walk into the inside of our cave. Then the actual space that the cave will be will look like this. Let me show you. So we want to dig 3 rows into like the little hallway that we've made. So 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows. We then want to knock out left and right 1 block of those 3 rows that we've just knocked into. So to make sense of that, it's like we've looked left, we're right at the end, and we want to knock out 1, 2, 3. So we want to knock out all of these spaces to the left, and we want to knock out these 3 spaces to the right as well. 1, 2, 3. So you can see that we've knocked in 1 row, left 1 row, and right 1 row. So we now have a 2x3 space, or a 2x3x3 space. We also want to knock into the ceiling 1 row as well, just so that we now have a 3x3 box in which we can make our cave house. So the bed for this place is actually going to sit right front, back, and center. So I'm going to knock into the ground, and I'm going to place a bed right inside of the ground at the back, like this. You can see what I'm talking about. So we want to have this space. Then I'm going to knock around the bed, and I'm going to destroy around the bed, and I'm going to place oakwood stairs around the bed like this. So we have some oakwood stairs around the bed. It kind of puts the bed up front and center. Then I'm going to knock 1 row above the bed into the wall, and I'm going to place a stone brick slab in the upper half of the block that I've just knocked out. I'm going to knock out the block above it, and I'm going to place a torch like this. This is the lighting that the cave has. That's all it needs. Now I'm going to look left of me, and I'm going to knock out the bottom row of stone to the left. I'm going to place, say, like a crafting table, a chest, and a furnace in the wall. I'm going to knock out the row above this, and I'm going to place stone brick slabs underneath the upper row of the space that I've just knocked out, to kind of like limit the space that we have in the cave, if that makes sense. I'm going to look to the right of me, and I'm going to have a nice little library area. I'm going to knock out the bottom row, and I'm going to knock out the row just above it, so I've knocked out 2 rows. I'm going to place a chest in the bottom middle spot of this row, and I'm going to place bookshelves going all the way around. We have a little library area. Boom. Easy as that. If you want to kind of like limit the area inside of this cave, you can add a layer of like, say, stone bricks to the top of the roof here, and you could even add like a light source to the top as well. If you don't have glowstone, which is what I would recommend, then maybe use a torch or something if you want some additional light, and it's as easy as that. Or you could even have a chest hidden up there or something like that. A hidden chest would be kind of cool. But that is the inside of the cave. That is half of it. The rest of the cave can very easily be decorated. So we have a lot of grass around here. So I'm going to use some oak leaves, some poppies, some wooden trapdoors and stuff. And I'm just going to place like, say, a wooden trapdoor here. And I'm going to place a poppy behind that. And I'm going to have, say, a wooden trapdoor here, and I'm going to place a poppy behind that. I'm also going to build up the entrance of this cave a little bit, so I might even use a little bit of stone here, and I might build up like a more traditional cave entrance. Like I might destroy a little bit of the grass, and I might have, say, a little bit more of a traditional cave entrance like this. I might even add some cobblestone slabs about the place, just to kind of like, I don't know, just to kind of like fit in the mood of like a cave, if that makes sense. So I might have something that looks a little bit like this, and then I can just place around the place just some like oak leaves or whatever your favorite leaves might be, just to kind of like, once again, like lighten the place up, add a little bit of color to it. Yeah, I mean, pretty much just add a couple of flowers and stuff about the place, and there you go. You have an awesome little entrance. It looks great. It's kind of, I mean, it's obvious that you've been here, but unless somebody looks really hard, they might not notice the fact that it's actually a nice little starter cave house. I mean, I don't know. It looks pretty good if you ask me. This is actually my favorite out of all of them, if you guys are wondering. That's house number 3. Why don't I show you how to make house number 4? Alright, so house number 4. If you want to make this one, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some oak wood, some oak wood stairs, some oak wood slabs, some glass blocks, some cobblestone walls, some buttons, oak wood doors, stone brick slabs, and some oak wood leaves. Plus, we might even need some more things later on. I haven't quite decided yet. So, once you've grabbed all of this, and once you've figured out what you want to make, and you need a little bit more space than you might imagine on the ground. This one has to be built on a flat land, or at the very least I would recommend there is. Well, you're going to want to begin with a row of 3 oak wood going right on the floor. So like 1, 2, 3, just like that, yeah? Then, looking down, you want to do an upright diagonal with your oak wood. Go back from that oak wood with an oak wood stairs. Then go back from that oak wood stairs to the right as we're facing with an oak wood. Then look back on what you've made and kind of like down at the ground a little bit, it's easier to imagine this way, and then do a bottom right diagonal. And then go right by 2, 1, 2. Then do 2 upper right diagonals still looking at the ground, so like 1 and 2, like that. Then look back at what you've just made, and you want to go right of that second upright diagonal by 2. So 1, 2 kind of like joining to where you first started, if that makes sense. So you want to have this shape on the floor. Once you've done that, this is what you want to do next. So, the last block that you placed, you want to place an oak wood plank on top of it. So place a plank on top of it. Place an oak wood door in the empty space right of where you were just building. Place an oak wood slab or an oak wood plank on top of the oak wood block that is right of the door. On top of the 2 oak woods that we have here, place glass. Coming to the right hand side of the build, you want to place glass on top of the entire right hand side. Coming to the back of the build, you want to place glass on the left 2 blocks and an oak wood on top of this back block, on top of the right hand block. On top of these 2 corner blocks, we want to place glass. And actually, we'll also do the same thing for this side as well. So, for the next layer of the house, you want to have something which should look like this. And then, just above the door, you want to have a glass block. So, above where the door is, you want to have a glass block. Yep. Now, you want to have where you have the other stair, so where you have the stair on the ground on the right hand side, you want to have an upside down oak wood stair above the glass block, like this. However, we want to have oak wood everywhere else, so on top of all of the other glass and on top of all of the other blocks that we have making the shape of this house, we want to have oak wood. So we'll have something which should look like this, and that looks fantastic. That's what we want to have so far. Now, once you've got that sorted out, we now want to take the oak wood blocks next to the entrance at the bottom and the top, and we want to extend them out in front of the build, each by one using the oak wood. So we kind of want to accentuate the entrance like this. I'm going to place cobblestone wall in between the 2 blocks, and I'm going to place buttons in front of the oak wood, like so. Now, I'm going to make this place look a little bit more interesting because we're going to add some corners to this thing. So, first of all, I'm going to take the bottom right-hand corner oak wood block of the entrance and I'm going to extend it to the right using oak wood slabs, and then I'll connect it back. So you can see that we're kind of following the shape along the house here, and we want to do the same thing with the upper right-hand corner oak wood block, and we kind of want to form a corner shape using our oak wood slabs, like this, yeah? We also want to place a nice cobblestone wall right in the front hand corner to kind of like just tie things together. We want to do a very similar thing. When we come to the back of the house, we want a similar thing back here as well, except it's a little bit more difficult to do. So where you have the row of 3 oak wood right at the back middle-ish part of the house, you want to have a layer of oak wood slabs that wraps around the back of the house like this, just underneath the glass. So it wraps around the back of the house like this, you guys can see. And we also want to have another layer of oak wood slabs that do the same thing. So basically the upper half of the bottom row of the house and the lower half of the top row of the house, we want to have it wrap around. We also want to connect the oak wood slabs together using cobblestone wall also. Now, once you've done that, we can then do the roof of the house. So the roof of the house is ever so slightly more complicated, to be honest with you. So basically what we want to do is we want to... this is so tricky, guys. So we want to take out the stone brick slabs, and we want to place a row of stone brick slabs that is on top of the upper left-hand corner of the entrance, and we want to extend that row of slabs all the way to the right like this. So all the way to the right like this, yeah? And it wants to just hover above the right-hand side of the house. We want to extend the row of stone slabs backwards until it overhangs like the back of the house, and you want to basically form a box shape on top of the house like this. I'm doing it a little differently from how I actually did it from the like original version. I'm then going to do a layer of oak wood slabs on the left of this, And I'm also going to add a layer of oak wood slabs on the right, and I'm just going to see how this looks because I think it might look quite cool. And yeah, there we have a nice starter house, and this is going to give a little bit of a better shape for the roof, which I'm now going to fill in with oak wood slabs. You've got a little bit of a better shape for the roof now, and it'll actually allow you to do more things with it. So if you wanted to, for instance, now with this, you could add some like corners onto the roof, and you could actually make like a little cool roof fort if you wanted to. Now obviously I'm kind of going off the rails a little bit with this. It's just something that I kind of like popped into my head. Oh, that's just not working, is it? What if we lower that block by... Actually, it's not going to let us do that at all. That's a shame. So maybe we can't raise up the four corners of the roof. That's actually kind of unfortunate because, of course, I didn't realize that we were actually in that row with the slabs, but it makes the roof a little bit easier to manage because it is a much more solid shape rather than it being very, very abstract. And then when it comes to the outside of the house, you can grab yourself some oak wood leaves. You can add a little bit of oak wood leaves coming out of like the back left hand corner, and you can also like add some just going around the house, just maybe just a little bit of them just kind of like scattered about the place. It doesn't have to be crazy, and it just makes the house look ever so slightly more interesting. And then when it comes to the interior, obviously it's kind of up to you with what you do with the interior, but just to remind you where the ladders go for the inside of the house, if we crack open the door here and we add a little bit of light inside here, the ladders for the house come up the very back center row of 3 oak wood. So it comes all the way back up here. That's how you get onto the roof, and that is how you escape certain death if a zombie breaks into your house. But that is house number 4, guys, possibly the most complicated out of all of them. Why don't I show you how to make house number 5 now? So, house number 5, this is the igloo house. I'm building mine on top of a snowy mountain rather than anywhere else because I kind of want to keep all of these 5 houses together. So, to make the igloo house, all you need is really, honestly, snow. That's all you need for the house. But if you want to decorate the outside a little, grab yourself some ice, regular and packed. If you want to do the inside, you'll obviously need like beds, crafting tables, furnaces, chests, stuff like that. And I would also use, if it doesn't melt the ice, because I'm not sure if it does or not, glowstone and some wooden trapdoors. So, the igloo itself, very easy to make. You want to start with the entrance, and you want to start off with a row of 2 snow coming up from the ground. That's 1 and 2. Then do an upright diagonal. Then do a bottom right diagonal with your snow. Connect down to the ground, like this. Then, add a layer of snow behind the entrance that you've created, so you've doubled up on the entrance. And then, what you want to do, is quite simple. You want to take the back of the entrance, and you want to do a layer of snow that is behind and 1 row outwards from the entrance. So, if that makes sense, you kind of want to, like, expand the entrance outwards by 1 row, like completely expand it like this. Does that make sense, guys? Can you see what I've done there? What we now want to do is this. So you want to take you basically want to do this. You want to do a similar thing behind what you've just made. You want to extend out all of the blocks except for the very top middle block. So behind what you've just done, you want to extend out all of the blocks again except for the top middle block. You want to leave that alone. So that wants to be as high as you want to go. And from the front, it will give you this sort of shape. So you can see we have expanded out the igloo like this. We then want to take the middle part of the igloo, this part that we've just made now, and we want to extend this layer backwards by 4 rows. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. We want to take all of these blocks and we want to extend them all backwards. It's so simple, guys. I'm sure that you guys will do this no problem whatsoever. So we'll just extend all of these back, each by 4. Then we have to shrink it down again. So 1 row behind what we've just made, we just want to shrink it inwards by 1 row like this. Then we want to 1 row behind this, we just want to fill in this empty little gap like this, and there we have the igloo, guys. So easy to make such a simple shape. And then all you have to do, if you like, you just have to like dig out in front of the igloo a little bit using using whatever, and then fill in the empty space with some ice, so create a little path. If you like, you could very easily dig around the igloo, and you could fill in a little bit of the area around the igloo using your actual like packed ice. You could absolutely just dig around the area like this, fill it in with packed ice. I'm not going to do this in this tutorial, but I'm sure that you guys get the idea. You could fill it in with packed ice a little bit, go all the way around. For the interior of the igloo, this completely is up to you, but I kind of like the idea of building like a bed into the floor, and it's a little unfortunate here that that we have nothing down below us, but I like the idea of digging a bed into the floor. And for a light source, I'm using a glowstone, but this could easily be any other block, and I'm just going to place in the ceiling. That's right in the center of the ceiling, by the way, right in the center there. Glowstone right in the center with trapdoors all the way around it. We have our bed here. I'm going to place like a crafting table, furnace and stuff just here on the right. I wish I had something else as well. Like, what do we have here? Maybe like a maybe like an anvil, something like that, just here on the right. I'm going to place some chests here as well. You could even do the same thing just behind here. You could even add a little bit of a shelf in the house. Like, you guys kind of get the idea of what you can kind of like do to this place. It doesn't have to fit any particular like it doesn't have to fit any particular idea in your head. You can use whatever materials you want. You can decorate the inside of the igloo however you like. If you wanted like a little reading area, a little book area inside of your igloo, obviously you can do that, no problem. We could have that, and then we could even have like an enchanting table, which I think is pretty late in the game really for a starter house, but you guys get the idea. And you can just make the igloo nice and homey if you so wish it. It just looks nice in here. It's nice and spacious. It's a great little house for those of you that do have a little bit of snow biome near them and you kind of like want to explore a nearby cave or something. Like, you could fit absolutely loads more chests and stuff in there. I'm just thinking, like, if you want to turn it into a nice little great looking house, like it can look like that. It's completely up to you. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the 5th house. Let me just port back to my original world for a second. So there we have it, guys. I have shown you how to make each one of these awesome 5 starter houses. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you've at the very least wanted to make one of these. That's kind of been the point of the video. If you guys have enjoyed this, please do remember to smack that like button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more content like this where I show you how to make like multiple survival houses, starter houses in one video, then let me know. If you want to see maybe you didn't make any of them, but you enjoyed seeing the little roundup at the beginning, just let me know by liking the video and tell me down there in the comments section. I would really appreciate that. I love doing videos like this, but I never really want to put out a video that's just like 5 minutes long, just showing you guys how to make one really simple starter house. I like to make like bigger houses and projects like this. So let me know down there in the comments what you prefer. Would you like to see just like in the future like one simple starter house, just one tutorial, or do you like stuff like this? You guys will just have to let me know honestly down there in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, please do remember to subscribe for more. If you subscribe, say hello down there in the comment section. I'll say hello back, honestly. Well, I'll say hello to most of you guys. I don't like check like days backwards in videos, but if I catch you guys in the comments saying that you've subscribed, I'll say hello back to you guys. If you do subscribe, click the little bell next to the subscription button, and that'll ensure that you get every single one of my videos sent directly to your sub box. We've got some cool videos coming up in the future, so I'm sure you guys don't want to miss those. If you want to check out any of my other content, I'm not going to burden you guys with that, but if you want to check out any of my other content, check out the card system in the description below, and you'll find loads of playlists that will take you to all sorts of places on my channel. Trust me, if you want to build it, I've probably already built it, so check out the channel that way. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you did enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.